Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast, episode number 23. Big Buck Registry is a virtual museum of hunting stories. We preserve a piece of Americana by interviewing and recording hunters about their hunts and experiences from across the country. And who knows, maybe we'll learn a thing or two along the way that'll help us take our hunt to the next level.
Hey folks, this is Dean Vanier with Northwoods Common Sense, and you're listening to my favorite and most informative hunting podcast show on the internet, Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast.
If I wouldn't have listened to Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast, I would have never shot that buck.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Jay Scott, your host of the Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast. And we're psyched you're joining us again this week. This week's show is all about the youth hunters, and we decided that it would be very interesting to interview a few youth hunters about how they develop their skill set and where they're hunting and kind of what do kids think about hunting these days. First, we speak to a couple of kids out of Texas, and each of whom have shot big bucks, and we get to learn a little bit about how they're developing their skill set. We speak to Devon, who's 11, and then Nicole, who is 16. And then we move on to some other hunters that have actually formed a group of hunters, or have formed a group called Tall Tines Outdoors. They have a Facebook page, and they're 17 years old, Tyler, Taylor, and Tristian. And they are actually just landed in Tennessee to hunt a huge piece of land in the Tennessee hills, and we get to get their perspective on what they're doing. And then finally, we're off to another hunter highlight. This week's hunter highlight is actually a pretty cool story. Almost unbelievable. It's a double kill. It's a double bow kill, buck and a doe. And we speak to Neal Erdman, and Neal actually shoots a doe, runs it out of arrows, recovers the arrows, and then shoots a buck. Kind of unbelievable. And he shares all the little details about how he made that hunt super successful. So listen in as we start our talk with Devon and Nicole.
Devon, tell us how old you are, buddy.
Sir?
Tell us how old you are.
I'm 11.
11 years old, and you killed a nice buck like you did. Hey, welcome to the Big Buck Registry Big Buck Podcast. We were calling you to find out a little bit about this hunt on this big deer you shot.
Well, it was a lot of fun shooting him. I almost had a heart attack. Also nervous.
I bet. Tell us how'd the hunt start? Did you have plans on shooting that big buck, or did you just walk out there and happen to see a nice one that night?
Let's start with where were you, Devon? What state are you in?
Texas.
In Baylor County, Texas.
I was in Baylor County, Texas.
All right. Excellent.
And, sir?
Go ahead, Devon.
My dad told me that there's been a buck walking into a stand, and, we went hunting that evening, and that morning, and he walked up on us, and I shot him.
That's very cool. Now, who helped you understand how the deer move through that area? Did your dad help you?
Yes, sir.
And what do you have to say to Dad?
Thank you.
That's right. Excellent.
Was you excited when he come out, Devon?
Yes, sir.
He was a little excited. He about tore the door off the deer stand wanting to get out of there.
That's your first buck, right?
Yes, sir.
And tell us about the deer itself. How many points did it have?
Had 8.
Excellent. And did you use did you measure the width between the antlers?
Yes, sir. I think it was like 15 or 18.
18. That's a good one. That's a real good one. And what are you going to do with it?
Hanging on the wall.
Yeah, it's hanging on the wall.
Hanging on the
now.
wall. That's a beautiful thing. Excellent. I understand you shared it on Dusty's Facebook page over at Chubby Tines Outdoors.
Yeah.
We try to take care of all the youth, and we want to reach out and talk to Devon. I appreciate Kathy's inspiration on sending out the youth pictures to us, and also taking them guys out to the woods. And Devon, we heard that he's really excited about it, and we wanted to get you on and hear a little bit about the hunt and how it went down for you. And we're really excited that you got out there and accomplished such a big buck out there in the woods.
Tell me how you went about it.
Well,
You remember the hunt?
What time did
Yeah.
you get up, Devon?
About 4 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa, that's early.
Yeah.
All right, and then
We
what?
stay-
Go ahead.
We usually stay out there till about 9. He came in about 8.
About 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Excellent.
What did you harvest him with, Devon?
Sir?
What did you harvest him with? A bow or a rifle or a shotgun? What was you shooting?
A 30-30.
30-30. That seems to be a pretty common gun here tonight.
Very nice. And was it a scope or was it a open sights?
Scope.
Scope, all right. And how far away was he when you shot?
68 yards.
Excellent.
That's a young man that knows how far and what he was shooting, huh?
He knows the specs. I like this. He knows the details. I like this a lot. And Devon, what about the day itself? What was the temperature like?
5 degrees.
Wow, that sounds cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. Was it windy or was it kind of calm?
It was just calm.
So it's a cold, calm day in Texas. And
Yeah.
I didn't think it got that cold in Texas. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
Up in the Panhandle, it's pretty chilly up there.
Gotcha. And the deer were moving and you were ready.
Yep.
And
What,
go ahead, Dusty.
Tell us from head to toe, what kind of hunt gear did you have on, Devon? Did you have on camouflage, hunter orange? What was you wearing that day when you shot him?
All camouflage boots and hat and everything. Like, yeah, coveralls, pants, extra shirts, thermals.
So it was definitely pretty cold down there. Did you guys down there use any kind of cover scent? You spray yourself down with anything before you head out?
No, we just, all we use, usually, sometimes we'll use like some spray to sense them in. We'll just spray it in the air or rattle. But that's all. We don't spray ourselves down with anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you end up doing some rattling for this deer or did it come in all by itself?
No, it came in by itself.
Excellent. And do you think you'll do this again next year or do you have more tags to fill this year?
I have more tags this year. I'm going hunting later this week.
That's so cool. Very cool, Devon. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the season. And definitely share some more pictures with us if you get another good one.
Hope you
Yes,
get
sir.
on. We hope you get on another big one, buddy. Put
Thank
us
you.
over to your sister Nicole, and we'll get her on and hear about her deer hunting story. Devon, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Devon.
Okay, 1 sec. I'm gonna give her the phone. She's in her room. Okay.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, Nicole.
Yes?
How are you? This is Jay and Dusty with the Big Buck Registry, Big Buck Podcast. We want to know a little bit about your deer hunt with your big buck that Kathy sent over to us there at Chubby Tines Outdoors. Can you tell us a little bit about it? How was congratulations on shooting that big buck.
Thank you. It was really exciting. I think my stepmom was more of in a panic attack than I was.
That's excellent.
Tell us what was the weather like that day? Tell us a little bit about the hunt and how it started out. Obviously, what time did you get up that morning to go out to the woods?
I woke up around 4 o'clock to go out there, and it was really cold. It was like 5 degrees. At first, we weren't really saying anything. And then a doe came out, and my stepmom really wanted me to shoot a deer that day, and she was telling me to shoot the doe. And I told her no, I wanted to wait till until I found a buck. So she was a little disappointed, and we waited a little longer, and we were about to leave, and then buck came in. They were all really, really big. And she was telling me to shoot one of them, and I didn't really know which one she wanted me to shoot because they were all about the same size.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up the gun, and I started shaking a little bit. I was a little nervous, and she seemed to be breathing harder than I was, though. And so I shot it, and it dropped, but then I got out of the sand, and it was gone, and it had ran like behind the feeder out in the field somewhere, and we thought I lost it because me and Kathy were looking for it and we couldn't find it. So we went to my dad and we told him, and he helped us search for it, and sooner or later we got to it, and it was in a different owner's field, like right behind the fence, and we just weren't looking across the fence, and we found it, and it was way bigger than I thought it was.
That's really cool. So you're out there and you see a doe and you don't want to see it, you don't want to shoot a doe. That's not in your league. So you decide to pass on the doe, and a group of bucks came out. How excited was you when you seen a group of bucks?
I was really excited. I was happy that I didn't shoot the doe, because if I would have shot the doe, then I'm sure that they wouldn't have came along.
Right. Was your heart pounding out of your chest?
Yeah, especially when I found it.
I bet that's Jay and I can both speak on that. There's no better feeling. Even as a female huntress, it's just as exciting it is for the male huntress out there. And I bet you was devastated when you looked out after you climbed down or got out of your blind, whatever you was hunting in there. Was you devastated that it ran off on you?
Yeah, I was. Because I thought at first I was really happy that I didn't shoot the doe. I was like, yes, they came in. And I was like gloating to Kathy. I was like, I told you. and then we got out of the stand and they weren't there, and so that all went to waste at first.
So you was talking a little trash when you climbed down, huh?
Yeah.
Right on. Tell us about the terrain there in Texas. What kind of terrain? Is there trees, scrub brush? What are you all hunting in down there? At our farm, there's a lot of trees, but also a lot of wheat fields. So there's different terrain, different areas. Then is what you're telling us.
Right.
Is it fence rows or is it actually woods?
It's wood.
That's cool. I'm just curious what the terrain was down there that you all were hunting in. Are you pumped up about getting back out there this year?
Excuse me?
Are you pumped up about getting back out to hunt this year?
Yes, we're going Wednesday, I believe.
That's exciting. Jay, chime in here, Jay.
Sure. And Nicole, how old are you?
16.
16.
I was 14 when I shot the deer.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how's this year shaping up?
It's good. I haven't really gotten to get out there yet.
I'm sure you will, though. It sounds like it's in your blood.
Right.
Excellent. Well, excellent, Nicole. Good luck this year, and thanks for sharing your story about the big buck that you shared on Chubby Tines. And definitely, if you get something else, don't hesitate. Send it on over so we see what's going on.
All right. Thanks. Good luck to you, too.
Cool. Thanks, Nicole. Thank you to Devon and Nicole for sharing some of their insights. And then we get to speak with Tyler, Tristian, and Taylor from Tall Tines Outdoors. And they're hunting in Tennessee right now. And let's listen in to see what their game plan is for the season.
Well, we came down here to do a little bit of hunting, trying to get some deer, maybe some coyotes tonight or something.
Okay, gotcha. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tyler, you and I started interacting a little bit on Facebook, and it started out with a share for share kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing at Tall Tines Outdoors.
Kind of just made the page as a joke.
Okay.
We just had some of our friends like it. We were going to post some pictures, and then got a couple pages to share it. Now it's at like 2,000 likes.
Gotcha. Now, why is it a joke?
I mean, not a joke, but just for some of our friends to see. We didn't really expect, a lot of people that we didn't know to like it.
Gotcha. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. You're from Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep.
And how old are you?
We're 17.
So we got some young men trying to do some hunting things, just kind of doing the things that you like, and you created a Facebook page. Does that sound about right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. How did you get into hunting?
Well, to start for me, Tristian, my grandfather, he plays a big part in our hunting life. He took us way out Altoona in Pennsylvania there, and he really got us jumped in and excited about it, and it all just came so quick and grew up loving it.
How long ago was this?
That was roughly 6 years ago.
That's when you first started getting into the hunting. Are you talking as far as deer hunting? Was your first time deer hunting? Did you go out squirrel, rabbit hunting, stuff like that to start out with?
The first hunt was actually a deer hunt.
Right on.
It all started with deer for a couple years.
It's an addiction.
It's very addicting.
All right, so bring us through your first deer hunting experience. Who was the first one to go deer hunting of the three of you?
Well, me and Tristian went, and I believe we were out a year or two before Tyler was, and
okay,
we just kind of met up and started sharing the memories.
All right, so where did you hunt? You were hunting in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we were hunting deer in Pennsylvania, small town Millville.
All right, what year did you start hunting?
About 2007.
Okay, so you've been hunting about 6 years.
Yeah.
Can you vividly remember your first deer hunting experience?
Yes, I can.
Like it was yesterday. Okay, I want to extract that from your mind. I want to paint that picture for our listeners. Let's go back to the day. Can you remember what the day was like?
I can remember exactly what it was like.
All right.
We woke up early one morning, and Pap said, you know what, we're just going to walk up the woods here, walk up the trail, and, sit down on the blind. So, we did what we said. We walked up and we sat down on the blind, and, Pap was up in the tree stand above us, and we already had it planned out. First deer comes out, one of us two would have shot at it, and, we seen this at the time. It was a nice little 5-point, and he just came out nice and broadside, about 30 yards, and, laid the smack down on him. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't help but forget, my grandfather's look on my face that he finally, had an accomplishment in his life, seeing us get out and doing something.
So this is you call him Pappy.
Yeah.
And Pappy is your grandfather?
Yes, he is.
Okay. And so there's Taylor and Tristian. You guys are just going to go out and go deer hunting. What kind of weapon are you using?
We were using 30-30s.
Okay, so you get a Winchester 30-30?
Marlin
30-30. Okay. Both of you are carrying 30-30s. What time of year was it? What month?
It was around December. Snow laid down late in the afternoon.
Okay.
It was the first day of deer season on my first year.
First day of deer season in Pennsylvania, and it's December at this point?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Okay, so December has a late deer season, is that right?
Yeah, it's the rifle season there.
Okay. So it's early December, late December, mid-December, whereabouts?
It was early.
Okay, so we're early December, Pennsylvania, 2006. Does that sound right?
2007.
2007. Tristian and Taylor get up in the morning. Now, are you anticipating the hunt from the day before, or is it more like, hey, let's just go hunting? Because you don't know what to anticipate. It's your first hunt.
Well, that night we actually fell asleep watching some deer hunting shows on TV.
All right, excellent. That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing better than starting off with some deer hunting shows, that's for sure.
Excellent. All right, so the night before you're watching some deer shows. Do you remember what shows you were watching?
Not exactly.
Okay, but it's getting you pumped up.
Definitely.
Okay, you're prepping your gear for the next day. And is there a plan? What type? And this is kind of going back to that first hunt you ever on. Everybody's had their first hunt. Is this the first hunt you've ever been on, or is this a hunt that you've been on by yourself?
This hunt here in Tennessee?
No, the one that we're talking about right now, the one in Pennsylvania.
No, that was just our first hunt. Period.
Okay, and so you have your 30-30s, and can you remember what the weather was doing? What was the temperature? Was it raining? Was it dry? Was it cold? What was going on?
It started out a little rainy that morning, and they never had anything about any snow coming in. But once it hit about 1 o'clock, man, it just piled on. I mean, there's a lot of snow, and that we noticed it got a lot of deer up moving.
Okay, so it was a good snow. Tell us about the snow. How deep was it?
It's probably about 4 or 5 inches.
4 or 5 inches. Heavy or light?
It was heavy snow.
Heavy snow. Okay, good tracking snow. It's quiet and soft. And what made you decide to hunt where you were going to hunt?
Just seeing trail camera photos. Just seeing the deer around there next to the plot. It all worked out.
Okay. So you decided to hunt near a food plot. You've got some trail cameras. So you've done some scouting. You know kind of where this is. And this is the first day of rifle season, 2007. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dusty, what questions do you have about this hunt?
Tell me what kind of gear, what kind of hunting gear did you have on? Like, for instance, you first time out, you went out with your grandfather, obviously, and picked up some kind of hunting attire, clothing. Tell us about what kind of gear you had on your first hunt. As far as, when you got up that morning, tell us through the day how it started. 2006, obviously, the new technology camouflage wasn't out yet. But tell us a little bit about what you had to set up for your hunt and to get going out to the woods that morning.
We have to wear orange and rifle.
Right. Did you guys have on camouflage, or did you just put on a couple layers of sweatpants and some blue jeans to head out?
No, it was camouflage, but like you said, it wasn't the high tech, new kind of looking great camo. It it was pretty cheap stuff.
Right. That's how you start, though. You know, that sometimes is the best way to get somebody in the woods is not only the best or the very best that you can buy, but just something to get you by. Tell us about what all did you have on? Did you guys have any kind of cover scent or anything like that to go out that morning?
Nah, we actually didn't really get big in that stuff till a little while ago. It just get dressed and go out. No hanging clothes out, no deer scents, no nothing.
Right on. Yeah, that I think that's a way a lot of young hunters start out. You know, they just throw their hunting gear on and go and hope for the best. And as always, as a young kid, the best is very hopeful for sure.
Right. If I think back to the first day I went hunting, it's way different than what I do today.
Well, you're old. That's all.
Well, yeah. Right. These days, it's coffee first, and then we'll start worrying about the scent control after that.
Right on. What do you guys do nowadays? Tell us real quick what you guys do nowadays to get set up to go to the woods.
I use dead downwind and lots of 5-hour energies.
5-hour energy and dead downwind. I like it.
That's the young generation of hunters right there.
There it is. And how does that first deer that walked out in front of your blind, what was going through your mind?
It was a really high adrenaline rush. I mean, I never experienced the moment in my life, and it was just really neat. It's something you can never forget. Even if it was a doe, you know, it's stuck there.
And that hooked you, didn't it? That's the adrenaline that you strive for every time you go out now. Did anybody shoot?
Yeah, actually, Tristian nudged me, go ahead and take the shot. So I put it right there on the heart and, let the bullet fly. And he ran about 20 yards and fell over.
Just like that. Beautiful.
Just like that.
Yep. Tyler.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your first deer experience. How old were you when you first went out?
I was 12.
12. So it was about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And who are you hunting with? Were you with anybody or by yourself?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather. What's your grandfather's name?
Gene.
Gene. So you're with your grandfather, Gene. Do you have a nickname for him? You call him Pappy or Grampy or anything like that?
Pop.
Pop. So you're with Pop. And was it Pop that kind of got you into hunting in the first place?
Oh, yeah. We'd go out for squirrels before that.
Gotcha. There's always somebody, right? There's always somebody in your family that is generally responsible for getting you at least started. And so Pop is the one that got you started. And how vivid is that day for you, that first time you ever went out?
Well, for like the first 2 years I went out, I don't even think I saw a deer. It was always windy and I'd always want to leave. And so I don't remember that well, but I do remember my first buck.
Okay. It's not uncommon, right, Dusty? I mean, I don't know what Dusty's first hunting experience was like, but it seems like that can happen. Not seeing a deer for the first, who knows how long. I know guys that have hunted for 10, 15, 20 years, never even got a deer, period.
I know quite a few, actually, that's been trying for 25 plus years to shoot a doe. I mean, it's not necessarily a whole lot of skill, but it's a whole lot of luck, and you guys being young, you got a long time to hunt ahead of you, if you play your cards right and the good Lord lets you keep on rolling in the woods. But it's a challenge. It's something that you take a lot of time to figure out. That's for dang sure.
Right. So Tyler, you didn't see any deer for the first couple of years, and
no.
But then what happened? What happened after that 2-year period?
Well, it was first day rifle. I was 14, and
Pennsylvania
went out
again?
early in the morning. Yeah, Pennsylvania. I was with my dad.
Okay.
And went out, and I had, I think, 16 or 17 doe come by, and here it was the first week. You can only shoot a buck. And then I saw a deer walking up by himself after a while, and I saw it was a buck, so it's probably a 150-yard shot, and I shot, and he ran over the hill.
Gotcha.
Fell over.
And how did you decide to hunt this spot?
Well, I'd go with my pop squirrel rabbit hunting there a lot, and I'd always see deer, buck. So I figured it'd be a good spot to sit in the ravine there where they come up.
Gotcha. So you did a little scouting preseason, in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your setup like? Were you on the ground or in a tree? How did you decide what the setup should be?
Well, I just told my dad to go sit down, like 60 yards down past me. I was going to sit on the top of the hill there, where I could see down in the ravine and up the other side. And he came right up from the bottom, working his way up the other side there.
Gotcha. How far to the bottom of the ravine?
Probably like 80 yards.
Gotcha. And do you remember what the day was like? Was it warm, cold, wet, dry? Tell us about the day.
It was in the 60s. It was hot out.
Okay,
so first day rifle.
First day rifle. And is this December again, or is this a different time?
November 28th.
November 28th. And it's a warm day in November in Pennsylvania. And is it dry out?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a dry, warm day. And you're sitting upon this creek bed, or not a creek bed, you're on the top of a ravine, and you're looking down in the ravine. And there's a spot that you had decided that was going to be good because you've been out squirrel hunting with Pop. And what time of day did you get there?
I was there half hour before daylight.
Gotcha. Any scent control or any kind of pre-flight check on your equipment and stuff like that?
No, I actually had a meal ready to eat with me, and I was cooking that when I shot the deer.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's a story right there.
There it is. Dusty, what questions do you have for Tyler about his first hunt or his first deer?
It's the experience of a lifetime to get on your first buck for sure. It's like no other in the world. Tell us from when you started there. You look back on it now. What kind of mistakes did you make the previous years of hunting? Is there anything looking back on the first 2 years that you didn't see anything that you would have changed after you seen the buck and shot it?
Well, I always went out kind of late, and the cold really bothered me. I didn't want to sit still, so I'd only stay for an hour or so. And I think around here at first day rifle, a lot of hunters leave the woods pretty early, start pushing the deer around. I think that's probably the best time to be out.
Is to get up and hit the woods early, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a lot earlier than I was.
Right on, and that's what's cool about deer hunting, is that from previous experiences, you can learn that different techniques help you be more successful, out there. In Pennsylvania at the time, do you guys do any kind of food plots at all that you can hunt over?
I mean, this year on one of the farms I hunt as a cover crop, they planted buckwheat and sugar beets. So, I mean, deer were in there like crazy. That was a no-brainer to sit up.
Back at when you killed your first one, did you guys have food plots or anything like that set up?
No.
Right on.
Gotcha. Now, how did you guys find each other?
Well, we went to the same school together, and it wasn't really until about our last year in our middle school until we really started communicating, because we'd always talk about hunting with each other, and then one would just join in, and basically we just got to talk about hunting together and things like that.
Gotcha. So you guys met up in school, a middle school.
Yeah.
And were you in school? Did you kind of find each other to the point where you almost formed your own clique, or I mean, how did that develop? How did you find each other in the middle school? Were you just your parents' friends, or you just kind of hit it off on the playground? How did you find each other actually in the school?
We kind of had classes together, and my stepfather went to school with his dad.
Gotcha. And the three of you all went to the same middle school, is that right?
Yep.
Gotcha. And at some point, you guys decided that, hey, we should probably put something together. And you formed Tall Tines Outdoors. And what was it that made you decide that, hey, this is a time that we should do something? And what is that mission? I mean, what is it you're trying to accomplish? And the Facebook page started as a joke in a sense. But what is it that you're trying to achieve here?
Well, we're really just chasing the dream like any other hunters out there. We're trying to make the best out of it and carry it on, show off the sport a little bit too as well. Okay.
And is it just so you can show people what you're doing, or are you trying to create a television show in the future? What is it that makes you want to share pictures of deer and bucks and things like that?
Well, I always thought it'd be awesome if something come out of it, because I really can't see myself doing anything else.
Gotcha. So the hunting, you've got the fever, in other words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You're primarily from Pennsylvania. You grew up in Pennsylvania. You found each other in grade school in Pennsylvania. The three of you formed this group. Is there anybody else that's part of your group, or is it just the three of you right now?
It's just the three of us.
Okay. What is your connection to Tennessee? Why Tennessee?
Well, my aunt previously bought some land down here, and she'd always show us pictures of deer and stuff that she'd get on her trail cameras, and every time we saw her, we'd just talk to her about hunting it, and we finally got the chance to come down here, and we're just trying to make the best out of it.
And that's where you're now. That's where you're at right now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're in Tennessee, and what's the plan? What's the plan to hunt down there? You tell us about the landscape. What are the woods like? What are the trees like? What's the landscape of the area that you're hunting?
Mountains.
Mountainous regions of Tennessee.
It's a lot of big mountains. It's very tough. A lot of hard traveling.
Okay. And what about the cover? What kind of trees are we talking about?
Big oak trees. There's a lot of small scrub brush.
Gotcha. And the areas that you're hunting, got any food plots coming in, or are you just trying to kind of figure it out? Is it near a farm? You said your aunt that has a farm down there?
It's really just in the middle of the woods. There's a couple fields that we're thinking about maybe trying to throw some food plots on.
Okay. So you're kind of trying to learn the layout of the land while you're down there. Is this the first trip to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're trying to figure it out about what's there, where you're going to hunt, how are you going to hunt it. This is your maiden voyage, so to speak, to this area. What's your game plan?
Well, we were out scouting today, and we noticed how tough it is to get up the mountains, and we honestly didn't think much of hunting the side of the mountain or the trails up there. It's just too rough. And while we were out scouting this morning, it's unbelievable how many deer you actually seen up in there. It's something we're definitely trying to get up in the mountains and take one off of there. It'll be an adventure.
Gotcha.
I'm going to talk here, Jay, because
absolutely, go for it.
I hunt Kentucky quite often, man, and the mountainside bucks are the best ones to hunt because, for one, you got big shots and long distance shots, but it's something that you don't think about hunting flat ground. Obviously Pennsylvania's got some rolling hills and stuff, but you guys really haven't seen mountains like that's where you're at. Anyway, but them bucks down there in Tennessee and Kentucky, there's nothing stopping them, man. I've seen them climb straight up and down cliffs, and it's like it's nothing to them. That's what's pretty cool about it, and I encourage you to go the extra mile, and even if it's a big hike, to get up there, take advantage of it. Get on a ledge where you can oversee some bottom where they can travel a little bit on some flat ground. There's obviously ledges that they're going to walk around. Take advantage of all that. Use the higher elevation to overlook a lot of area below you.
Yeah. I said to Taylor, he said he wanted to sit up there on the hillside. I said, I don't think they're going to cross here. It's real steep. It wasn't 10 seconds after I said that, 2 deer went right up across there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like they're trained marathon runners when you get down in the Kentucky, Tennessee big mountain area. It's unbelievable what them deer can actually go up and down.
That's awesome.
How many acres are you all on?
600.
Oh, wow. That's quite a piece of land there.
Yeah. It's only about 24 miles from the Kentucky border.
Right on. So are you, I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit eastern Kentucky, Tennessee area for the mountains to be there.
Yeah.
What, so you have a big plot of land. Is anybody else hunting this along with you? Do you have to have the permission to hunt this land?
No, it's actually Tristian and Taylor's aunts. So.
Yeah. And are there other hunters on the property as well, or just you guys?
Just one person, his grandfather, but he can't make it all the way up top where we'd be able to.
So you guys just hit a gold mine here.
Very big one.
You have 600 acres all to yourself, except for the grandfather that can't quite get there. But I assume you're gonna put him on a good stand somewhere, right?
He's got the best one in the house.
He does. All right. Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent.
That was coming for sure.
That's fantastic. So what's after Tennessee for you guys? Where are you going after Tennessee?
We're going to head back about the day before the first day of rifle season in Pennsylvania, and we're going to see what we can get there for the first day.
Gotcha. And what's your game plan in Pennsylvania? Where are you going to hunt? How are you going to hunt?
Well, we got my grandfather that started us all into getting hunting. His buddy owns about 900 acres down there, and it's just a lot of fields and a couple creek bottoms. It's really nice.
Well, it sounds like you guys are going to have a heck of a deer season this year. You doing any bow hunting? Looks like you guys are drawing back some bows on your Facebook page.
We do a lot of it.
Gotcha. Any harvested animals so far this year?
Yeah, we all got a doe up in Pennsylvania for the first week of archery, and just saving the buck, and hopefully until the late season of archery up there when the snow's down, you can really see them running through. I mean, they just get so excited over it. It's unbelievable.
Say that again. So they get excited over it?
Yeah, it's different because when the snow hits up in Pennsylvania, you see more deer out running than you do usually during the rut.
Is that right? Interesting. Why is that?
I don't know. It's just like you said, the little hills, and there's a lot of people starting to timber off up there, and they just lay in there and insulate themselves.
And then when the snow flies, it gets them moving. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And you're
it's like a kid when the snow comes, they get all excited. It sounds like.
Yeah, interesting. Well, very good, guys. We appreciate you taking some time to talk to us about what your plan is. We really are kind of focusing on the younger hunters in this episode, so we're glad you guys could come on board and share some of those details with us. And best of luck to all you guys. How do if our listeners are tuning in and they want to reach out to you, how would somebody contact you guys?
Just get a hold of us on Tall Tines. We got our cell phones, we got internet. We'll always get back to you and just keep in contact.
Okay. And is it Tall? Do you have a website as well, or just the Facebook page?
Not yet. My dad actually makes websites, so he said that he'll make us one when we get back.
Okay. So the Facebook page is facebook.com/Tall Tines Television, correct?
Yes.
And then the page is Tall Tines Outdoors. In the spring we strut, in the fall we rut. Just a couple of kids from Pennsylvania chasing the dream.
Yep.
And on here, there's some contact information. I don't see any emails or places like that, but you say just reach out to you and post something on your Facebook page.
Post or message, either one. We'll get back to you.
Okay. All right. Excellent, guys. Well, that's fantastic. Any final questions for Taylor, Tristian, or Tyler, Dusty?
Be safe out there, guys. Stick together there in Tennessee. Them hills and mountainsides, it ain't no joke. Somebody falls down and gets hurt. We wish you the best of luck, and we sure do thank you for coming on the Big Buck Registry, Big Buck Podcast.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Be safe, too, Collins. Good luck.
Good luck, guys. Take care. All right. Thank you to Tyler, Tristian, and Taylor from Tall Tines Outdoors. That was very cool. Good luck this season, you guys, down in Tennessee. And please check in with us again soon. Next up, we are speaking with Neal Erdman. And Neal is our hunter highlight of the week. I cannot wait for you to listen to this story. It's pretty cool. Neal had a double bow kill recently. He shot a nice buck and a doe, all within a few minutes of each other, in Illinois, and we get to listen in to all the little details of what made that hunt successful. And hopefully we can turn that hunt and his skill set into our skill set, and maybe we can do the same thing. So let's listen in as we speak with Neal.
I was I was by myself that afternoon, but I got an opportunity to hunt along the Rock River here in Illinois just for a few days. They allowed me to come out, and just so happened that I worked with the guy that hunts at the property already, and he drew me a little map and showed me where to go, where his stands were at, so I didn't have to scout, walk around, set my own stands up.
That's cool. So somebody kind of turned you onto the property?
Yeah, I know the landowners actually from way back, and they just gave me permission to come out.
Gotcha. And they drew you a map. What did they draw the map on?
So the guy come over to my house and just we sat around the kitchen table, and he's I got 6 stands up here, and kind of walked me through where they're all at on the piece of paper. And with that, I went out and walked to them and found them.
Gotcha. So you made just like an 8.5 by 11 printer piece of paper kind of thing, the standard white piece of paper.
Yep.
So he drew you the diagram of where all the stands were. Gotcha.
Yeah, here's the elevation.
Gotcha.
You come up these trails, and there's some stands, and you can go around the bottom. He said, and then there's some more stands there. So. Cool.
Now tell us about the place where you're hunting again. You're in Illinois, and you said you're hunting a riverbed. Yeah,
it's along the Rock River, which is it's a pretty large river. It's just basically rolling hills, a lot of oak trees up in there. The underbrush is pretty well wide open, which is nice for deer hunting. Not a lot of stuff to shoot through. So.
Gotcha. And what type of day was it? What day of the month was it?
It was the Monday, November 18th.
Okay.
I believe it was.
2013.
2013, yeah.
Okay. And describe the day. Was it warm, cold, wet, dry? Tell us about the details.
I want to say it was just an average, fall day, kind of overcast. I believe it was high 20s, low 30s that day, with probably 5 to 10 mile an hour wind.
Gotcha. Okay. And did you have any preparation, like to use any special soaps or scent control
I do. I scent-free wash my clothing. I had to work in the morning that day.
Okay.
So I did it the night before, and then just, had it in the bag in my truck.
Okay. And what kind of bag did you have? Do you have just a regular old garbage bag, or do you have a special bag for it?
I just have like a garbage bag.
Garbage bag. Gotcha.
Scent-free wash and dry and put them in the bag.
Gotcha. And then you get dressed in the field?
Yes, I actually had to go to work, so I went, basically just my outers were scent-free, and I sprayed down my work clothes because I had to come straight from work. I sprayed them down and then put my outers on and then sprayed down again.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Do you have a particular brand of spray that you like to use?
I can't remember what it is. I'd have to go look what it was. I can't remember.
All right. No, that's okay. That's important. Not that it's important to know, if it's important to you. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of brand of cover spray, scent killer. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
So it's a 20, 30 degree day. It's just standard day, not wet or dry, just kind of normal. You're hunting the creek bed in Illinois. Mm-hmm. And take us through the hunt. Take us from the moment you woke up.
Well, I woke up and I went to work. And
right.
It's just after that day that it worked out where I could get off work early and I was going to go hunting, so I was prepared for that. And I got off a little early and I drove out to property and, of course, got out and got dressed and sprayed down. And then I did, I pulled in Devon. It was about the time of the rut around here.
Okay.
I got some pink 69 doe and rut. And I put it on a drag rag and drug that into my stand with me.
Gotcha. Did you tell me about the time of day? What time did you get out of work?
I was out of there by probably about 1:45, but it was probably a 45-minute drive back to where I was hunting.
Okay. So after your spray down and scent prep, you were probably getting into the field about 3 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
probably got to the stand about 3. Yep.
Okay. All
drugged that drag rag in and I just climbed up in my stand and I took my backpack off and pulled my bow up and was just getting situated. And right away, here come a doe right on the trail. I just walked in.
Let's back up just a sec. How far was the walk from your vehicle to your tree stand?
It's probably 10, 15-minute walk in.
Okay. Was it
walking through a ravine and across creek and up through the middle of a great big ravine, and that's where the creek is where the tree stand was sitting.
Gotcha. So you have a not a trail, but you know how to get there, and you have to go through some couple obstacles to get to the spot.
Yeah, I had never been there before. I used that guy's map and
gotcha.
Just kind of made my way there and found it, with no problems.
Gotcha. Okay. And you did the drag rag on your 15, 20-minute walk to the stand. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens? And you get into the stand?
I got into the stand, and I probably wasn't in there 10 to 10 minutes, and here come a doe down the same trail I just walked in.
Okay.
And I let her get up on me, and she got right below me in the creek, and I took a shot at her. I actually hit her in the spine, which wasn't an ideal shot, but so she went right down below me, was paralyzed. So I the ethical thing to taking her shot and put her out. So I did that, and I thought that I had put her out, but after 5 or so minutes, she was still head up trying to get up, and so I said, got to put a third arrow in her, and I did, and finally got her to expire, and well, then I'm out of arrows.
Right.
I only carried 3 arrows in that day, so I decided it's only about 3:15 now, and so I decided I would climb down, get my arrows, and get back up and sit down again. And
so you actually went down to the doe and extracted your arrows and put them back in your quiver and went back up to your stand?
I went down, but I was thinking ahead. I didn't want to get caught without my bow with me, so I lowered my bow down with me and just sat it there on the side of the creek and went and extracted my arrows.
Yeah.
And I only had one broadhead left that was good. But as I was doing that, I looked back to where I had walked in, and I seen movement, and it was more deer coming. And I'm like, oh, well, here comes some more deer. So I took my one good broadhead, and I ran back to my bow, and I hid behind a tree and knocked that arrow again. The first deer to come in was just a small 6-point.
Okay.
And he came in and investigated the doe laying there, and he didn't like the sight of that very much. So, and then he actually stopped right in front of me about 5 feet out and stared at me for a while.
What did that deer do when it saw the doe?
Well, it came in and, it looked and then it kind of jumped. He seen the doe laying there, just kind of jumped and didn't like it.
Huh.
And he went to get out of the creek. Well, there I was standing behind the tree, and he's like, there's something there. He didn't know what it was, and he was staring at me. And probably 20, 30 seconds went by, and I finally I had to blink. I couldn't hold it anymore. And when I blinked, he was that close to me that it startled him, and he jumped around the backside of me. But at that point, I was watching the big 9-point already. I didn't know how far away he got from me, the 6-pointer, but the 9-point came in at about 30 yards, and I decided, I was going to take him because he was a pretty good-sized deer. Well, when I drew back on the 9-point, the little one caught my movement and blew. It scared the 9-point. He jumped out about 10 more yards, probably. He's about 40 yards now. But he stopped and turned sideways to, I think he was just checking out, see what that little deer was blowing at. And that's when I released my arrow and stuck him.
Gotcha. And where was the shot?
It was a pretty good shot, just, behind the shoulder.
Right in the kill zone. Gotcha.
Yes.
And how far away was he again?
I estimated about 40 yards. I used my 40-yard pin.
40-yard pin. Gotcha. And it was on the ground?
I was standing on the ground, yes, next to the tree, behind the tree.
Okay. All right. One of the things I want to go over is the head-to-toe equipment check. Tell us about all the things you had with you during the hunt.
Well, I have
Start with
bow,
you.
which is...
Yeah, go ahead.
It's an older bow. It's a reflex excursion made by Hoyt. I shoot Beeman, ICS Hunter arrows. And, I use Montec G5 fixed-blade broadheads. And,
okay.
Of course, I always have a grunt call and some sort of rattle bag. I use the, what's it called? It's a tack rack is what I use.
Okay, tack rack. And did you have to use any of the calls? Do you know what brand grunt call it is?
Night and Hail, I think.
Night and Hail. Did you have to use any?
I didn't even use any of my call. I barely had just got to my stand when all this kind of went down.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have to.
They were coming through whether you like it or not.
They were coming. I think they were all following the drag rig trail.
Gotcha. Interesting. And it was, as far as your clothing, what did you have on for clothing? Start hats or start at the head and go to your feet.
It's nothing special, no brand name stuff. Just stuff I get at the local farm and flea called, and just a cap, like stocking cap that's camo. And, it's your average camo clothes that are no scent free clothes or anything.
Okay, so just regular old hunting clothes, just cotton based clothes that are camouflaged that you covered over with some scent. What about your boots? What do you get carrying for boots?
I have Remington boots.
Okay, are they rubber or some other kind of?
They are sort of like a tennis shoe boot type boot, just comfortable to walk in if I need to walk a long ways.
Okay.
A little bit waterproof, 6-inch boot or whatever.
Gotcha. Any knives or anything like that?
Yeah, I have Remington. I believe it's a Remington knife. Gut hook knife.
Gut hook. Okay.
And then a couple other knives. I don't know the brand of those.
Gotcha. Okay. And how did you extract 2 deer from the woods?
Well, a friend of mine that has a stand set up there, he also lives about a mile away from there, and I called him on the phone, told him what happened, and he's like, well, heck, I know right where you're at. You go to my house, and you got a Polaris Ranger there, and you can drive that right in there and pick them deer. He made it quite easy for us.
Oh, that's handy. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was great.
Gotcha.
We did have to drag the buck a little ways, and he was 2 guys. It was all we could do to drag him when we got on flat ground. So.
Gotcha. So how far did the deer run? How far did the buck run after you shot?
The buck probably ran 150, 200 yards.
Okay.
And I waited about an hour to blood trail him and actually kicked him up, and he just kind of slowly made his way up a really tall, steep hill, and just kind of stood there at the top. So we decided we were going to back out, go in the field, get to take care of the doe and get it hung, and have some dinner and come back. And when we came back, about 2 hours later, he was laying probably 15 yards from where we last saw him standing there at the top of that hill.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then as far as the meat, how did you prepare the meat? What did you do with it?
Well, I always I butcher them myself in the garage, and when I was young, I worked at a meat market. And I've done thousands of deer, so
excellent.
I just butcher them myself, and I have a vacuum sealer, and I seal up the steak and grind the meat and mix it with 25% beef suet and then freeze it up.
Beautiful. Love that. Tell us about a few details. I mean, the doe looked like it was a fairly large doe from the looks of it. How did you weigh either of the deer?
I didn't. I don't have a scale big enough to weigh. I have some fishing scales, but they only go up 75 pounds, so
gotcha.
I wasn't able to weigh them.
Yep. And how many points on the buck?
The buck had 9 points.
Excellent. And how did you measure the rack?
I have not scored him yet.
Okay. How wide? Okay. How wide?
I never even put a tape measure on him.
Oh, no kidding. Gotcha. Okay.
No, just a real good size 9 point outside of his ears, good mass.
Yep. Any other unique features on the deer that you noticed?
Not really. He just, he would have been a real good symmetrical 10, but he was missing that 1 point on the one side. So I guess it just never developed.
Gotcha.
On the left side.
Gotcha. Was he in rut? Could you tell?
Oh yeah, his glands were pretty gnarly and smelly and
Okay.
wet, and his neck is swollen, and he was definitely following that doe or following my drag rag trail or both.
Yep. Gotcha. Well, excellent, Neal. Congratulations. It's a fantastic deer. We've already posted on our Facebook page, which is how you found us in the first place. But we will definitely put this whole audio recording on our show, and we'll post this with a picture of your deer on our blog along with the show. So
Great.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Not too often you get a double kill as fast as that one.
That was my first one, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's something we haven't really heard about yet. So now we know how it happens.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe just luck, but it was definitely a fun hunt.
Right. It took some prep, took some luck, took some planning, but you were in the right place at the right time.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Excellent. Well, good deal, Neal. We'll send you a link to the show as soon as it launches, and
Okay.
we'll wish you luck. And I don't know if you're still hunting, but if you are, best of luck, and we'll definitely catch you again on the Big Buck Registry.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you to Devon, Nicole, Tyler, Tristian Taylor, and Neal Erdman with his double bow kill. And thank you to Dusty Phillips for joining us this week with his souped-up microphone. He's sounding great. And if you'd like to reach out to us and give us some feedback or just send in a photo of a big buck that you shot, you can send an email to j@bigbuckregistry.com. You can reach Dusty over at facebook.com/Chubby Tines Outdoors. And you can visit our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Big Buck Registry. Our Twitter handle is Big Buck Registry. You can always give us a call at 724-613-2825. Leave us some feedback about the show, what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like us to cover. That would be very cool. Or you can just leave some details about a nice hunt you're on. Check in a buck, so to speak. So this is Jay Scott, your host of the Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Can't wait.